It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. No, it's not. No, it's not the end of the world. God fucking damn it. Welcome back once again to Joe the Shirts Off the Cuff, the final show. Kidding. It's not the final show because the world is not really going to end. Because according to my calculations, we have less than 12 hours to go if you happen to live on the West Coast. If you happen to live on the East Coast, you got less than 9 hours to go. So, hate to see you go. Bye. Oh God, I always love it when there's yet another end of the world scare. I always giggle my fucking ass off. I really do, and it doesn't bother me so much that people are expecting the end of the world. What really bothers me is when they all get together somewhere to experience the end of the world together, and they're all just really disappointed when it doesn't happen. I reported that story last year, actually, about a bunch of people in Utah and some other places that were in communes and cults, and you know they were all there. They were ready. They were holding hands, and they were doing God knows what. And then they're just like, fuck! I gotta go to work tomorrow. Damn it! Maybe I shouldn't have killed my wife. I guess I gotta return that Ferrari. Yeah, so I'm quite sure we're all still gonna be here come tomorrow. So don't sweat it. Don't let anybody worry about it. Before I get into anything else, a couple of quick announcements for you guys out there. Let's see, where is that announcement? Oh, no, where'd it go? I know I had an announcement for you. Okay, there it is. Hold on. Two announcements here. One of them is in reference to my good friend Helena Elko, who is an artist, and she's going to be showing her piece in her art in New York City. It's called The Wild at the Ward Nass in Soho. It's the very first show in New York City in many moons, and they're going to be welcoming her back tonight, and that'll be going through the 30th. So go check her out if you happen to be in New York. Want to check out my friend's work? Say hello to her for me. Tell her Joe the Shirt sent you. Her name is Helena Elko, and again she'll be showing her piece at The Wild at the Ward Nass in Soho, New York City. So please do that. In a related article, her boyfriend, my good buddy Paulie K, whose name I never try to pronounce, I think it's Paul Kroffel, whatever. You can catch him, his Facebook feed. That's Paul, K-R-O-P-F-L. He's in the middle of putting a movie together with the guy that starred in the Hebrew Hammer. I think they're doing a sequel to it, and he and his cronies are looking for an intern/assistant kind of person to help the movie stay on track. So if you're in New York or even New Jersey, and you're looking to get some valuable film experience and work hard and not get paid for it, contact my buddy Paulie K. All right. And anyways, back to the show as originally started. Now, like I said, everybody thinks that the world's going to end, but apparently they don't care that much about it that they didn't decide not to get married. Okay, apparently, if you guys remember, not too long ago, it was the date was 12/12/12. That's right, December 12th, 2012, and a bunch of people. And when I say a bunch of people got together, I mean a whole fucking bunch of people got together, in their heads, individually with themselves, and their special someone, and decided, let's get married on the 12th of December, 2012. It'll be special. I got news for you. I don't think it's special when everybody else is doing it. Now, to give you an idea of how many people are getting married, there have been some. They've taken some polls of places that put together weddings, and they estimate that on that date there will be, so far, there were roughly between 7,500 and 8,000 weddings on that day in the United States alone. And keep that in perspective, that is a 1,446% jump in last year's, at that exact same date, but on the 11th. Again, to put it into perspective for you, Las Vegas, Clark County, probably the biggest wedding day that they ever had was on 7707. Lucky sevens, right? Apparently 4,333 marriages occurred on that day, which is pretty huge considering they usually have only about 7,400 for the entire month. Now, I know, I can't, I had the thought, this was a man's idea. It really was. And mostly the guys that think that the world's going to end today, they figured, fuck it, marry her, we'll all be dead in about a week or so anyway. Fuck, let's do it. Oh my God. Now, a lot of people out there know that I'm here in Los Angeles, and the big city. I'm from New York City originally, the Bronx, another big city, and that's where all the action is. That's where all the big things happen. But I think what a lot of people don't get is, in truth, our city is not all that different from yours in a lot of ways. If you live in a small podunk town, and a lot of you will. Probably not if you're listening to this show, unless you happen to be my friend Fauna. Well, now, last week I believe I told you a story about how here in Los Angeles, something I did not know was that for the last, almost 3 years, parking at a broken meter is illegal, and you will get a parking ticket as if you parked there and didn't feed the meter. Normally, you put the paper bag or plastic bag on the meter, write down that it's broken. Well, according to LA County, go move your fucking car because we're going to ticket you or possibly even tow you. Now, in a related story, oh God, it was big to do. I believe this was yesterday. Mayor of Los Angeles, Mayor Antonio Villagrosa, completed the replacement of the very last coin-operated parking meter in Los Angeles County on Tuesday. That made the news. It was on TV. It's in the paper. So these days, not having coins to pay the meter is no longer an excuse, because now all coin-operated meters are gone, and now you can use your credit card or your debit card to pay for your parking. So there you go. Look at that. Big news here in Los Angeles. Oh yeah, it's great stuff. I'm rather late in reporting this, but another local thing here in West Hollywood on December 1st, we celebrated the 31st birthday of AIDS. That's how they put it in the paper. I'm not the one saying that. It's like, AIDS is 31 years old. And there were observances in Los Angeles. And I feel really bad because I didn't get AIDS anything. Moving on. Now, if you happened to be in town yesterday, you would know that going to the Universal City Walk was a real bitch and a half, because they were having a memorial service for Jenny Rivera, the musical, the singer, and what was considered as the American Oprah Winfrey in her life. And I gotta tell you, apparently like over 6,000 people showed up, mostly of Latino descent, let's say mostly of Mexican descent. They sang for her as they watched the service of the Mexican-American singing sensation Jenny Rivera at the Universal City Walk outside the Gibson Amphitheater. And my girlfriend did get caught in that traffic, and I'd never even heard of this chick. Again, in local news, this is a toughie. Apparently, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has decided to let sea otters roam freely through the Southern California coastline. Yeah, apparently up until then, the otters and local fishermen were, they were locking horns over the fact that, otters, eat fish and shellfish, and they were in direct competition with the fishermen. Again, hot news here in LA. just to let you know. Yeah, you know what? I'll be back with more. Oh yeah, I got more. But right now, why don't we just take a little break with musical stylings from 835 and his song, "My Mom Was Gay." As soon as I get it up there, I'll do it. You'll see. Joe the Shirts Off the Cuff. That was My Mom Was Gay by 835. And I don't know about you guys, but my ears are bleeding. I'm usually in a hurry when I pick out the music, which is why I try to only keep it on for a minute and a half at most, but that one had to go. Which is too bad, because I've played 835 stuff before with considerably more success. But there you have it. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's another. We're talking about local news here on Joe the Shirts Off the Cuff. In local news, Shirts and Skirts reopens their doors in Larchmont. Yeah. After months of speculation, the neighborhood's favorite cleaners are back to business where they originally started. Yes, Shirts and Skirts dry cleaning is back where it belongs. Actually right across the street from me on La Cienega and Santa Monica. Again, made the news. See, also a person, man in Utah apparently, was recently helped by animal services because somehow or another he'd managed to have 149 chihuahuas living in his house with him. One more time, 149 chihuahuas. I find the little yippy bastards annoying when it's just one of them. Apparently, he was not going out of his way to adopt them, but he was rescuing them and trying to find homes for them. But then he developed a reputation as taking in chihuahuas, and then it got to the point where people would just be walking by with their chihuahua and just toss it over the fence, figuring he'll take care of it. Oh, I love that. I know that wasn't exactly local news, but hey. Now I want to do one of my favorite pieces. I don't know how much you love it or not, for the show here on Joe the Shirts Off the Cuff. Ask Amy. Ask Amy is a advice columnist that writes for the LA Times, and Amy and I occasionally find ourselves at odds. And we're going to check in with Amy today. All right? I say, dear Amy, I'm a 12-year-old girl with 3 older siblings. My parents make us clean the house every weekend. Every time we're done, my mom or dad will yell about how we didn't do the job right. I love my parents to death, and they give me a lot, but this is getting tiring. It feels as if they're never happy with the work we do. I want to ask you what's the best way to approach my parents without their yelling at me and saying I'm lying. I feel that they see me as a maid sometimes, and I don't know what to do. Signed, Tired. All right. Not exactly abusive parenting going on here, but yeah, as kids, you don't have to clean shit. Amy writes back, Dear Tired, I'm hardly impartial because I am a parent, and while I seldom raise my voice, my daughter once told me that I yelled with my eyes. I'm also a former kid who, at your age, was working with my siblings toting milk pails each night on our dairy farm. I remember the discouraged feeling you described when you feel nothing you do is right. When you are older, you'll look back on your childhood labor and with all likelihood be very happy that you worked at home. Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to finish the rest of this because it's a bunch of shit. She doesn't give Tired any advice. Basically, all she does is tell her to go suck it. Now, I like to think that when somebody asks me for advice, because I don't like to offer too much free advice, like just offer to people, because a lot of times people resent that. But if somebody actually ask me, Joe, what do you think I should do? Telling them to just suck it up until you're an adult, and then later on you'll remember, oh, it was okay, I guess it was good for me, built the character. Fuck you, that's bullshit. Amy got it wrong again. All right. How about, okay, really quick, this is a quick bit here. I'm trying to burn through a lot of the old stuff, before the end of the world. Apparently, you guys know this by now, hopefully, maybe. Facebook users no longer get to vote on Facebook policy. And a bunch of people got upset about that. But apparently not that many people got upset about that, because you guys had the opportunity to vote to be able to keep voting. Facebook put it out there. You could have just gone online and voted. They had a special spot where you can go online and say, yes, I want to keep being able to vote on Facebook policy. And Facebook made it easy for you guys. All they wanted was a 30% of you to acknowledge that you really wanted some input into how things work on Facebook. They didn't get that 30%, and now you're not in charge of your policy. Also, Facebook is reassuring everybody that your stuff is copywritten for content that you post on Facebook. It's yours. The same deal is going on with Instagram. You might have heard that Instagram had come up with a new policy wherein, if you post pictures using their technology anywhere, that they can use, that they are free to use your pictures for possible advertising. People lost their motherfucking minds, and talking about how if it's your property and somebody uses it for advertising, they get paid for it. You should get paid for it. Yeah, I get that. But you know what? As for Facebook and Instagram, the reality is nobody really gives a shit about what you're putting on Facebook and Instagram. They don't care. Okay? They really, really don't. Odds are, of the millions or billions of you out there that put bullshit, matter of fact, just like what I'm putting on right now on Facebook, nobody else really wants it. So just chill. Now, I did want to talk about actually one last bit of local news in reference to drunk driving, which I don't recommend you do, because you could get caught. And really, that's all we ever really care about. We don't really care that we were drinking and driving. We don't really think that we're gonna crash into a tree, or we don't think that we're gonna hit somebody or hurt somebody or kill somebody. We only really worry that whether or not we're gonna get caught. But here in West Hollywood, the annual DUI campaign is kicked off, wherein they take a car that was wrecked in a drunk driving accident and leave it at the corner over here in Santa Monica for everybody to see, that's what happens when you drink and you drive. According to police reports, that's actually drunk driving arrests are down. Let's see, 203 in 2012 as compared to 257 this time last year. And arrests are down. City of West Hollywood, 78 DUI-related collisions, and that's down from 97 at this time last year. And which surprises me, because here there's a lot of bars here, and there's a lot of clubs, lesbian clubs, gay bars, and those boys like to party. Those guys are nuts. So that really, I'm glad to hear that there's less crashes and less arrests and all that good stuff. But I don't know, guys. I don't know. I still think there's a chance for them to break last year's record. We got Christmas coming up, New Year's coming up. We could beat that on New Year's Eve alone. And then, of course, there's the people that you look up to in your community. For this type of thing, like Andrea Alarcon, who leads the Los Angeles Board of Public Works. Well, apparently she had to plead guilty to 2 charges involving drunk driving and child endangerment, because apparently a couple of years ago she was 33 years old, driving her car with her then, I believe, 9-year-old daughter in the back seat, and she was pulled over and blew a whopping 0.19, more than twice the legal limit of 0.08. She got a plea deal, won't be doing any jail time, but she will be going through for about a year of DUI classes for child and for DUI class and a 52-week program for child abusers and more than $2,000 in fines. Ooh, $2,000 in fines. Ooh, pretty lady though. And in Riverside County, let's see, a man, Robert Ponte, stole a 2005 Bentley Coupe. And he was arrested again 4 days later for stealing a 2005 Bentley Coupe. What makes it funny is it was the exact same car. Love it. A little sip of juice here. And it is juice. Taking a little sabbatical from the drinking, not for any particular reason. I don't feel bad or anything, but you know, the Russian and I were hitting Vegas for Christmas on Sunday, staying at the Mandalay Bay. God, it's a nice suite there, and we'll be having a good time there. And you know, you go to Vegas, the holidays are coming. You know you're gonna overdo it, so I like to usually what I'll do before I know I'm gonna get stupid. Take a couple of days off, you know, give my body a chance to come down to a nice normal level of liver function and pancreatic function and kidney function before I, you know, get stupid. Oh my God. Now here's one that really was pissing me off. I really can't stand this. Let's see, what was it? Yeah. Now, you may have heard of Mel Gregg and Michael Christian, who called a nurse in England, I believe it was London, a nurse, Jacinta Saldanha, who they called there, making believe that, you know, she was, one of them called, making believe that she was the Queen of England, and wanted to talk to her great-granddaughter-in-law, whatever, Kate Middleton, who was in the hospital. Exactly what for, no one's sure, but they think it had something to do with the pregnancy. Well, what Jacinta did was transfer the call to a different nurse, a nurse that was in that section where Kate Middleton was being taken care of, and then they spoke with that nurse. Well, now the nurse was discovered that transferred the call, killed herself, and the DJs Mel Gregg and Michael Christian have been taken off the air, and the Australian government is considering criminal charges. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's bullshit. I mean, you know what? You're going to kill yourself because you fell for a crank call? I mean, that just seems silly to me. And really, and then you're going to blame them because she was already mentally unstable. No, I don't think so. You know, I feel sorry for her family, her two teenage children, her husband. But if you really think that it was a crank phone call that put her over the edge, then you didn't know your wife and mother all that well to begin with. I'm burning through these. We only got about 6 minutes left here. Now, if you're a big fan of reality TV, stop listening to my show. But if you are anyway, it's come to me that most of you don't really care much about the reality of the TV. You really, what you care about is the drama that you're experiencing, the made-up drama. You know, it's like, or yeah, you fall for how they do the editing. You know, because I've got so tired of so many, you know, stars from these types of shows saying, it's like, I didn't say that, I didn't do that, they took that out of context, they re-edited it to make it look as if I said that or did that, and that happens a lot. But if you're a fan of the show Storage Wars, where basically they go around to storage units or barns or maybe a flea market, where they go looking for like some really hot ticket items. Well, apparently, lawsuit is alleging that the producers of the show were planting high ticket items for the Storage Wars guys to find. So, wow. And the best part is no one actually cares. Ratings actually went up. Back to drunk driving. There's a new rule that they're planning to try to push through Los Angeles, actually California, that 17 states already have, wherein if you get convicted for drunk driving, even if it's their first conviction, they're going to put an interlock device on your car, and your life's going to suck. What it means is that there's going to be a device attached to your car. When you get into your car, you have to blow into the interlock device, and if the car senses that you've been drinking, it's a breathalyzer basically, it won't let you start the car. Or what did Sam Kinison say? Well, what do you mean? Don't drink and drive? Well, how the fuck are we supposed to get home? No, everybody's cracking down on drunk driving, and I support that. I really do. I don't think you should go around driving drunk. I know I've done it a few times in my life. I don't like to admit that. Driving a little buzzed, I know most of us can do it. Not a big deal. But there were about 2 occasions in my life where, I got to where I was going. One time was a hotel, another time was my house, and I wake up in my bed going, how the fuck did I get here? Where's my car? And the very first thing I do is put on like last night's clothes and run down to the garage and see what the car is. So don't do that. You don't want to. That's scary. After the second time that happened, I've never done that again, and I don't want to. I have more news here. We're almost done. For those of you who still are feeling some anxiety over the end of the world, please stop calling NASA. Apparently, the government agency has been getting phone calls because people think that the NASA knows something and they're just not telling us about it. Typically, NASA will get, according to them, roughly 90 phone calls or emails per week with questions. For the last couple of weeks, actually a couple of months, it's skyrocketed to 200 to 300 people contacting NASA about the end of the world. So I'm sure their phone lines are lit up right now. All right. Have you heard of Novak Djokovic? Up until this, I certainly didn't. He's a tennis player, and he is buying the entire world's entire stock of a particular cheese that comes from his homeland, Serbia, because he wants to open up a chain of restaurants and serve this cheese. That's what it is, the type of cheese that it takes over 3 gallons of milk to make 1 pound of cheese, which shoots up the price of cheese to a little over $500 a pound. And depending on how much aging and processing they do, it could cost even more. It's made from donkey milk. It's donkey cheese. It's called Pule, which rhymes with mule. And they got to come up with a new name, because Pule is really not that much better than donkey cheese. Would you eat at any place that said, "Oh yes, we serve fresh donkey cheese"? I'm like, no, thank you, I'm all right. And despite the horrors of last week's shooting in Connecticut, Newtown, Connecticut, the FBI is reporting that sales of guns are up, way up, super duper up. As a matter of fact, sales of guns in this country almost tripled since then per day of what they normally get. Much like with what happened in Aurora, Colorado, every sales of guns tripled, applications for gun licenses tripled. So everybody keeps getting this bizarre thought in their head, well, I gotta get a gun too, because I can't just let the criminals have the guns. And the fact of the matter is, this kid wasn't a criminal up until he actually did. So really, you're not protecting yourself from the criminals. And really, what would a gun do you any good if it's at home and you're at work and they're shooting up your kid's school. I don't know. Anyway, it's not the end of the world. Don't worry about it. I'm Joe the Shirt. This has been Off the Cuff, and this is Absolute, Mr. True, and Ill Harmonics with their song Tight White Lasso. Take care.
On the edge of some the gringos, so yes, Chicago.